So this is the snake game that we made, and basically it's
Read
a
it. Hold on, hold on. Let's read it. Want this to start from your introduction
oh, okay.
and then what you're learning and then what you made. You have to share the working of it and then going into the code
Okay.
side.
Okay. Hello, my name is Rishi, and I am 12 years old. I live in Vienna, Virginia, and I really love coding. Coding is one of my favorite things to do, and I am very lucky to join 90th percentile coding class. And I have my teacher is Mr. Prashant, and I really like him. He's my favorite teacher. Um, so we made a snake game, and it is based off the Google Snake game that you can play online, and it's made using HTML, CSS, and JS. And we're currently learning JavaScript, and we implemented it into HTML. So basically, we have right here is the canvas, and it basically is um, what we are saying as the whole canvas or the grid where we put in the different sprites. So like the apple, the ground, and the snake. So I'm excited to go into the JavaScript part now. So this is the first line is let canvas equal context good document dot get element by ID snake. Basically, this tells the variable called canvas to equal the canvas that we initialized over here. And CTX is a variable that we named, and it basically gets the context and makes it in what way do we want to print out the data. So does it 2D or 3D? And
Mm-hmm.
so basically the box unit is, so if we go into the ground, there are 17 boxes this way and 15 boxes down. 1 second. That makes it a total of 32 box grid. So
Mm-hmm.
that's have the box unit as 32. And snake is a variable is a list showing that this is the length and the position of the snake. So we tell that the snake 0, meaning the x and y coordinates of the snake are 9 times box unit or 10 times box unit, similar to how we say 9 comma x 9x not oh wait x equals 9 and then y equals 10, the same way we do it in coordinate grid x comma y. So it would basically be 9 units down, 9 units to the left, right, and then 10 units down to get approximately to the center of the grid.
Mm-hmm.
This is the food, and the food is made randomly between x equals 1 to 17 and y equals 1 to 18. The reason we probably understand why it's x 1 to 17. Well, it's because um if you look here, 17 is it's zero. Python starts at JavaScript starts at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, and
Mm-hmm.
then that makes it this as 17. So this as 17, so then it makes it go anywhere in between here, so 1 through 17. But here is 8. The reason it's 18 is because there's 3 extra boxes in between the 15 over here. There's one, we can say there's 1, 2, 3, so then that make 18 total boxes extra. So that's why we put the food in between from 1 to 17 and 1 to 18, so that the computer knows where to place it.
Mm.
This is the audio. So basically, if you die, if you die, eat, go up, right, left, or down, a new audio is played, and the audio function makes the variable into a audio, and
Okay.
to give the variable a source, we have to give it obviously a sound. So for example, let's say eat.source, we'd have to give it the eat.mp3, so this sound, and we give it by going into the folder. Then we go into the folder which is called GFX, and then put the name of the specific sound. So for eat.source, it would be GFX slash eat.mp3. For dead,
Mm.
GFX dead.mp3. So similar for all three of those. For
Okay.
all um So for score, we initialize the score and the initial direction for the snake because we don't want it to start in a random direction when you play. We want it to be the direction that you started as. So up is up, down is down, and left is left, right is right. And this function listens, basically your computer listens for a key down, meaning um it checks it for what key is currently pressed. So if space is pressed, then it listens for space. And
Okay.
okay, yeah. And this is a function. A function is a piece of code that we can iterate multiple times. We can use it multiple times. It's one piece of code that you can use anywhere at any time. And it can have arguments to change that code internally. So
Right. Okay.
we have the key, so the event.key code, so that we know what key is being pressed. And basically, key 37 is the direction of left. Key 37 is left. And we don't want it to be right at the same time, because if an object is moving left, it can't, like, if a snake is moving left, it can't like directly move right. It has to
Mm.
go left, then up, then right. So we have to check that it's key 37 and the current direction is not right. Then we play the left sound and we change the direction to left, which will be affecting the snake later in the code. And key 38 is down, key 39 is wait, key 38 is up, key 39 is right, and key 40 is down. So in the same way, if you click key 38, the up is played, then key 39 right is played, and key 34 or 40 is down is played. And basically here, the same way we initialize the audio, we initialize the images the same way. So ground is a new image, and the source of the ground is a folder and ground.png, which is this. So this is the ground, or the place where the snake moves. And the food image is another image, and it tells the food image that the source is apple.png, so this one.
Perfect.
And so this is where we get into other different the more complex part of the code, where you check for collisions, because collisions will let you have game over. We
Mm.
have another function, and this is called collision. It takes two arguments. One is called head, and the other one is called array. Head means the head of the snake, and array is the length, or the amount of blocks that this snake is made up of. So it basically has a for loop. A for loop is a type of loop which basically iterates for a certain amount of time. So it basically it makes a new variable, then has a check and updation. So it's starting, and then check, and the updation. So every single iteration, it updates by adding 1 to I. So it becomes 0, then 1, and then it checks if I or 1 or the number is less than array length. So for example, if the snake has a array length or body length of 3 blocks, it checks if I is less than 3. So if I goes through this and it goes to 1, 1 is less than array length. So it then checks this code. It's an if statement. If statement checks if the current given question here, given argument, is correct or not. And here it
Perfect.
says,
So most of the time, like it is checking if the head is touching any part of the body. Like it is, the snake is made out of blocks. If it is touching the first body part, second, third, fourth, or something like that. Right.
and if it is touching any part, it returns true, meaning that it is touching and it will respond for game over. But if it isn't touching, the for loop will end and return false, meaning it hasn't collided with anything, so the game can continue. This is the main function. This draws the snake and food onto the grid, and also and it has all the other things like movement, and it has movement, the fill, and the position of all the snake, and also where and what where the food is and whether or not the food is being eaten. First, we are drawing an image, so we draw the ground at 0, comma 0, and we draw the food at the food x at food y, the list that we talked about in the beginning. And it draws it at there, so a random position inside the small grid, and then it checks in a for loop. This for loop is the fill style, meaning it fills the snake based on whether or not it has updated the current length. So if it's less than snake length, and if I is equal to 0, then it fills it as green. Else whoops, else it becomes white. So meaning it adds on as white, and then again as it adds on to white, it becomes green again, because that will become the first part of the snake.
The
And
head
then
part of it.
yeah, so then it fills the rectangle at the current head location for the snake. And its stroke style means the little red border
Hmm.
along the snake's perimeter.
Okay.
And this is the position of the snake. Basically, it lets the snake value the position, and position equals to snake 0, so the list, and it takes the x value of that. And then the same thing, it takes the y value for snake y. So this is at 9, comma 0, and it draws the image at 9, comma 0.
Hmm.
This is the direction it should move. And it show when, for example, if we move left, it subtracts box unit, because when you're moving left in a coordinate plane, you are going to the negatives. So it obviously would go to the
Negative of
negatives.
the X
Yeah.
direction. Yeah.
And the right would go plus because it's going this way. Up, for some reason, up is inversed. So up and down is inversed. So if you're going upwards, you'd subtract, and if you're going downwards, you add to the value for the snake. And this is
Hmm.
for eating. If you eat the snake, so if the snake x or the snake head, snake x or the x value for the head is equal to the x value for the food, and the snake y, so the head or the y value for the head is equal to the y value for the food, and these both are true, it adds 1 to the score, and it plays the eat sound, and it puts the food at another random value.
Hmm.
And if this is not true, it deletes the last item from the array. So it basically moves, deletes that array.
Okay.
New head is when you get a new apple, when you eat the apple, it creates a new head on top or wherever the snake is going. So it makes the head, and that same way, the head is created at the snake X and snake Y.
Hmm.
This is the boundary. This is where the collision is actually used. The collision function is right here. So if snake X is equal to box unit, or snake Y, so the head is equal to box unit, or snake Y, this is symbolizing or, snake Y is 3 times box unit, or snake X is 17 times, is snake X is greater than 17 times box unit, basically saying anywhere across here, and snake
Across the
Y is,
boundaries and the edges of the ground.
yeah, basically
Hmm.
edges of the ground. And also if it's touching itself,
Hmm.
it will clear the interval, meaning it will stop the game, play dead, and then say game over, got a total score of game over is a string, and it says total score of score, and it fill style is as fill style as black, the font as change, and it fills the text as game over box unit. It basically where we position the game over. We fill the text game over, so we fill this. We fill you got a total score of score in black, and we put it at the position. And yeah, we put that as the total score. So we put game over up here. Then we put you got a total score of the score that you got right under game over. And snake unshift new head basically creates the new head for the snake.
Hmm.
And it still fill so this over here is the score, and it fills it as white, has the font of Helvetica 1, and fills it as the score, and puts it at the box unit of 3 and 1.5. And this is the interval, so it calls the game. So game is what it's calling at set interval. So how many times does it change? And it draws. So the draw function is used here every 175 milliseconds. So
Perfect.
it makes a new frame every new movement at 175 seconds, milliseconds. Sorry.
Okay, I challenge you in your own game to score at least 10 points. Let's see if you could do that.
Okay. So as you can see, as I move left, right, it goes that direction. Going up
Hmm.
and plays the different sounds. So eat is playing as eat,
That
and
was close.
yeah, no, where's
Okay, I'm good to go.
oh
Oh, you got that.
oh
That was smooth.
I
I
got
should have
10.
given the score as 11.
Yeah,
Okay, but that was really smooth. Good job.
thank you.
So, Rishi, you did a fantastic work in explaining everything. And wherever it was required that you are going way more technical than it was required, I added my script. Okay. Other than that, you did very fantastic. And you did more than awesome, I would say. Good job. As always, perfect.
Thank
Perfect
you.
video. So, I expect the perfection, and I always get that. So, no comments. Maybe someday where you will scare me by not giving perfection, I'll add some comments. Let's see if that day ever comes.
I won't
Okay,
ever.
so yeah, I know that day will never come because you take care of all the responsibilities and tasks and you do things accordingly. But yeah, good job with the explanation. Good time for the video, I would say. It took us around 20 minutes to explain the entire topic, and that's a very good time. That shows like how well, and we have covered the video, and in depth we went in order to explain the code. So that was fantastic and fabulous. Again, you can pat your back from my side. Good job.